Absolutely not. I would say it's close, but absolutely not,
What is that
and
bad?
not even that close. I will say this though. This is Tom Holland's best one though. Tom Holland Spider-Man. This is probably at the top of that list right now. And I'll tell you why. This movie does not rely on nostalgia. It does its own thing to a certain extent, and it also has a really good story, a really good, somewhat relatable story that you can actually, even as an outsider, without having anything to, let's say your grandma, you just want to go on the date with your grandma, and then you fucking see it's Spider-Man showing up, so you go like, Grandma, let's go see Spider-Man. Grandma might actually like the movie overall, even without understanding what the fuck is going on. And to me, that is a good sign of writing. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect. Absolutely not. It has its cringy moments and whatever, and things that don't make sense, and we'll get to that eventually. But overall, this is a great movie. This is a great movie, and it is absolutely a must watch for the year. Now, let's get the main substance out of the way. Obviously, we got multiple characters in this movie. We got Punisher, and we got the Hulk, which honestly, the dynamic between Spider-Man and the Punisher is really good. I actually really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed how they went about that and how it all kind of concluded at the end of the movie. It was really good. It was really good. I really did appreciate that. It was a really good character developing for the future, the foreseeable future. If you know, as I had stated, this movie is way better in terms of the writing. Now, the reason why I say this is because this movie actually hits some
That's
pointers
fucked up.
where it actually becomes a little bit more sentimental, a little bit more emotional than you would expect in a movie. Now, granted, we already know what Spider-Man's or Peter Parker's state of living is in this movie, so that's something that come about already understanding the position he's at. All of his loved ones and everything. He lost Aunt May, and then everyone just fucking forgot he even is a person. So obviously we already understand that, and we get that dynamic
That's
between
depressing.
him, not really stalking, but it's just seeing MJ and Ned. You kind of feel that
Sounds like
emotion,
he's
like
forcing
damn,
his talent.
like that's really sad. And this movie really does thrive a lot when it comes to these themes of like finding your ways, discovering your purpose or whatever the fuck it is, like along those lines. You know what I'm saying? So the movie really does work really well in those scenes, and in my personal opinion, I think when it's shining the most, when it's starting to get into the more emotional and sentimental aspects of the character, and the just the emotional vulnerability he's going through at the time. Now, granted, there's been spoilers about who's in the movie and shit, like, whatever. Who gives a shit? But obviously, I'm not gonna give you spoilers. I will talk about them eventually, towards the end of the video. But Sadie Sink, who is she playing? Who is this mystery character? I'm not gonna tell you. Obviously, I think it is a good surprise. Someone ruined it for you, then I'm really sorry. They ruined it for me. I'm not gonna lie. So, but I'm gonna say this. I think she was the best performing person, that right next to Tom Holland in this movie. Her performance is so fucking good. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Out of the young cast from Stranger Things, she was the only person that had a bright fucking future. I'm not even. Hey, she's the only person that I could see just straight up having a baller career. She is a phenomenal actress, and like she's just gonna shine. She's just gonna go to the fucking moon. You know what I'm saying? So she really did perform. She really did a fantastic job, and I can't really emphasize that enough. I think that's one of the
No, that's really
standouts
hard.
of the movie. Is her performance. Her character, I would say, is a standout. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll get to that in the later portions of the video. One big, 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 big thing I didn't like about the movie was, well, I mean, I didn't. It's not something that I didn't really truly like. It's not something I really took away from the movie whatsoever. There's some writing things that don't make sense. Now, granted, I did think that at the time there were some head scratcher moments. It is something worth mentioning when it comes to the
Still had those.
pacing of the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not something that I go back and I go, oh shit, dude, this movie really does suck at storytelling. It's more like it's kind of just, it could have been a little bit more linear at certain points. But again, that's like the really minimalistic thing. And another really minimalistic thing is there's some shots in this movie where I can you not like a lot of green screen, of course. And there's a lot of experimentation on this movie. I'm pretty sure you've seen in the trailers where you can actually feel like you're in the suit and you can feel the weight of Spider-Man just swinging around the city and whatnot. That was really good, really experimental, and I really did enjoy it. It kind of sells a lot. Now, at the back side of that, at the other side of the coin, there's a lot of scenes where you go like, this is fucking trash. Like, this is horrible CGI. This is clearly a fucking green screen, and they didn't even try. Like, there's just like, let's just put a fucking background on that shit and just call it a day. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's not something that really takes away that much about the movie. It's more something that, you know, we already know Marvel is just kind of just swinging shit at this point. They're just like throwing shit at the board, seeing whatever fucking sticks. You know, again, complaining about Avengers Doomsday, which we'll get to that eventually, but I'll actually do a separate video for that one. But anyways, now those are my only two real sort of complaints about the movie. It's just like slightly the pacing and some of the shots look really bad, and some of them even look AI. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's some of the like really slow-mo shots that you can even see on the trailer. They look really fucking CGI, and they're just weird looking. They just don't really look that appealing. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, this movie is really good. I'm not gonna lie. Really colorful movie, which is what aids the fact that it could look like AI. It's very vivid, very colorful movie, which, you know, you can appreciate on the Spider-Man movie, I'm not gonna lie, so it doesn't all have to be that dark. But yeah, it gets serious when it gets serious, and honestly, great storytelling, and overall, I think this is one of the better movies this year. Very enjoyable. Not even being biased of Marvel or Spider-Man, because honestly, I kind of fell out of love with that fucking franchise, but I'll always love Spider-Man. So, giving this movie a nice little rating, I'll give it an 8.5. 8.5. Once again, I give these ratings today, literally 1 hour after walking out of the theater, but by the end of the year, the rating may go up or the rating may go down. So this is just my initial thoughts immediately walking out of the theater. 8.5, I think it sits comfortably. I don't think it's the best movie of the fucking year. I mean, obviously, I'm comparing it to the rest of the year. I will say I like this movie significantly more than The Odyssey, and that's not even, you know, I would rather watch this movie 5 times in a row than The Odyssey twice. So, yeah, that's just my opinion. So now let's get into the spoiler territory. All right, I just want to talk about this because I'm not gonna make a video about movie review, then a spoiler review, and then a fucking doomsday rant. So I'm just gonna get it on because it's not really that big of a deal. So, fuck you, Steve Lacy. It's the first thing I'm gonna say. Fuck you, and dude, like I'm not the type of person that wish the worst on people, but I hope your fucking music career flops like a bitch. Now, granted, I'm not a big Jean Grey fan. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not the biggest fan of Jean Grey. It's not like, you know, I was fucking head over heels over that character and whatever. But I really do like the character. I think she does become eventually one of the strongest persons in the entire universe, and we kind of saw that when X-Men Dark Phoenix came out, where we kind of got a hint, which I thought Phoenix Force was gonna be the big bad villain eventually down the line. But obviously we got Kang, and then, you know, he got falsely accused of rape, and then, or whatever the fuck it was, and then, you know, we just did a disaster again, always pivoting back to the fucking Doom rant. But so Jean Grey is the main villain of this movie, you know, very very odd take, but then again, Jean Grey always ends up being the villain, especially in X-Men Dark Phoenix. She was the main villain there, and then she is the main villain here. And I'm not gonna lie, I've never understood her powers all that well. Granted, I'm not the biggest fan of Dark Phoenix. I just really respect the character. But I think she is, again, this is the more younger version of, you know, the eventual Dark Phoenix, which kind of leads into what we're gonna see eventually in the future with this character. Hopefully, I'll say this character was introduced in a very, very good way. We got to see her selfish. We got to see her in her most vulnerable positions, and then we got to see her become as powerful as they are. Now, I really do respect this movie choosing for these two characters to be technically paralleled with each other. So Spider-Man is basically the same person as, well, technically he has technically the same story as Jean Grey. It's just like it kind of, obviously they come from it's like a butterfly effect to the same conclusion. You know what I'm saying? Like they're really strong people. They have really good potentials, and then obviously on in the scene where Aunt May is just sitting in the couch, you can kind of understand that she kind of relates to what Aunt May was telling Spider-Man. So they kind of feel the same way. They kind of feel like they come from the same position, and they are in the same position at that time. Now, the only thing I didn't like about this movie, which of course I couldn't say in my non-spoiler part, was I don't understand why did we just end it with Jean Grey just going away. Like, I feel like there should have been a little bit better of a closure. Now, Spider-Man's closure is way better, especially, you know, just hanging out with Ned and Ned hinting that he knows. But you know, it's just for Jean's side, we've been following this character for the entire movie, trying to figure her out. We finally get the vulnerability. We finally get the background. We finally get some closure into, like, she was literally just like she had her hand up of Peter Parker's ass, just making him breathe so he survives, and then she just flees. Now, obviously, we understand why. She's like sought after. Everyone knows her fucking face and shit. But at the same time, it's like, I would have appreciated a little bit more closure with the character, like, you know what I'm saying? And then pivoting on that thing as well, it's like, where do we go from this to Doomsday? Like, there's literally no fucking setup for Doomsday. Again, oh god, I can't stop complaining about it. There's certainly no setup for Doomsday. And the only reason I complain about this shit is because I fucking love Doom. He's my favorite fucking villain, brother. And then we just threw one of the best fucking villains in the entire Marvel universe, just in a fucking 2-movie shit, just for no reason. Like, oh. All right, let me not get started. But yeah, anyways, in terms of the spoiler territory, that's pretty much all I can say. Oh, I will say Hulk. I did not talk about that. Hulk gets fucking massive. He actually becomes one of the better versions of Hulk. I think this is one of the best depictions of Hulk. Actually, for the first time, we actually get to see a very good Hulk, like the Incredible Hulk, like not the Mark Ruffalo one, but the one before that. I forgot his name, but it's really close to that one. So I really did appreciate that. So overall, I think this is a great movie. I think this is a must watch. And if for some reason watching right now, you know, hey, we're together in this, okay? We're together in this. So hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great week. Hope you have a great rest of your year. And I'll see you guys next time.